Hello, welcome to FPMG. In this video, I'm going to talk about what FPMG really is and how it could be helpful to you. FPMG stands for Form Generator, PHP and MySQL Generator. It's a free online tool that you can use to instantly generate HTML code for forms. And if you're a PHP developer, you'll find this tool to be immensely useful as it generates PHP code and MySQL code. You can access this tool for free at fpmgonline.com. As you can see from here, it's fpmgonline.com. So let's take a quick look at what FPMG really is and how it can help you cut down time on web development and web designing. So let's start with the introduction. FPMG, as I've just mentioned, it helps you generate form instantly without having to manually type or give out all the details and even write the PHP code and MySQL code manually. So FPMG will do this automatically for you. So we are going to see in the video how we can do this by means of an example. So once you're on this page, read through the information, and here this is where we start from. Now this little box over here, it might seem like it's not much, but once I show you how it really works, you would appreciate how helpful it is. But just for the example purposes, what I've done here is I've already populated the form fields that I want to be generated. What I've additionally done here is I have replicated or duplicated the same kind of a form in another tab so that we can compare our input with the resultant output. So what additionally I'm going to do here is quickly fill out the remainder of the fields that I want for quick comparison. Alright, now if at any point of time you do not know what each of these do, like say if you're a PHP developer and you're getting started and you want to know more, just hover over the I icon and it will tell you, it will give you the description of what each of these fields stand for. So the syntax is what the PHP syntax stands for. So .NET and ASP developers, I'm sorry, this tool does not generate ASP code or .NET code, but this tool will generate only PHP code. So PHP developers will definitely love this. And HTML code is already generated. So if you're a web designer, or we are a web designer, and you do some works like say contact forms and you develop them, you'll love this tool. So here it is. If you are a PHP developer, then you'll want to use all of this so that the PHP and MySQL code is generated for you. So just select the checkboxes and the syntaxes will be generated. Table is the table name into which you want the data to be inserted into. So let's say I have a contact underscore us table in my database and I want the data to be inserted into this table. So that's what I'm giving out here. Form action is the page name to which the data has to be sent. So let's say I have a contact.html page or contact.php page into which I'm going to insert this form, HTML form, but when the visitor submits the form, I want the data to be sent to another page called result.php page. So that's the page name I'm giving out here. So that's what form action stands for. And here, let's see what each of these fields or what each of this does here. Input label is the name of the label of the field input. So input type is the kind of input element that you want to be generated. So you want to generate a text box with the label first name. That's what you're going to do. You're going to select text box from this drop down list and provide the label over here. Labels are not mandatory, but it's good to have, and it's according to the rules of W3C and HTML. So that takes care of it. Process is, you have a couple of options here. Process yes or no. If you select the process as yes, the data from this field will be inserted into the database. If you select it as no, the data will not be inserted into the database. So I'm going to show you what I mean by that in a little while, but just take a note of this. For the send submit button, I'm selecting the process as no. So that's what I'm going to make sure. Okay, here I'm going to select that as no. Alright, so input name is the ID and input element name. Every input element must have a name, and the same name will be given to the ID as well. And DB call name stands for database column name. So this tool assumes that you want to insert the data from this field into a column name of the same value. So what I mean by that is it's assumed that you have a database column with the name first underscore name, and the data from this field would need to be inserted into that column name. So because the column name is similar to the input name, you don't have to specify it over here. But let's say you have a different column name in the database, you would want to specify that in here. I'm going to show you what I really mean by that, but let's just proceed through this example. So here it is. I have selected the type of input element that I want to generate. Here we have about 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I have created 9 fields, and I have given values to each of them. I want to generate a checkbox with a couple of options, wait a button for the gender, state with a couple of options. Message is a text area, password attachment, file, and hidden input element does not need a label because it's hidden. Submit is a submit button with a label, and the process, as you can see, it's yes for each of these fields, but other than the submit button. Only for the submit button I have selected the processing as no. I'm going to show you why I'm doing this. And input name is the ID and name of the input element that you want to be generated. DB column name, here is the interesting part. Message, as you can see, the input element name is message, but I have provided comments as the DB column name. So what this means is that the code assumes that you have a database column by the name comments, and the data from this field will be inserted into that column. Maybe if it's not that clear, I'm going to show you when we generate the code how this really works. So that's the reason why I have duplicated this, so that we can make a quick comparison of the input with the resulting output. So without further delay, let's go ahead and generate the forms. By the way, it has taken me less than a couple of minutes to fill this information. So let's go ahead and generate the form. Okay, here it is. The form has been generated. Click here. Alright, now select and copy. Okay, let's save it. And when you go into design mode, you can see that the form doesn't look that pretty. The alignment is not done, so we have that taken care of as well. I'm going to say select all, copy. What we're going to do is copy the CSS that we have automatically generated, save it, and there you go. It looks nice and tidy right now. It's automatically taken care of. And so let's make a quick comparison. Okay, here it is. Let's take a preview. Now it's time for a comparison. Now we would want to see what we have done here. As you can see, the first name is a text box, and here the first name is a text box, and I can type. Alright, and subscribe is a checkbox with a couple of values, newsletter and email. Alright, now gender is male and female. Alright, I can check whatever option I like. State has a couple of options. There you go, a couple of options. And message is text area. Alright, let's type in something. And the password is password. Alright, let's just make sure. Okay, it works. Attachment file, and there you go. And hidden input element. Alright, it's an ID. You can't see a hidden input element on the form, but trust me, it's there. It's in the code. Okay, let's take a quick look here. As you can see, that's the hidden input element. It's not visible when you execute the form, but it's in there. All right. And the last one is the send button. There you go. So this is how FPMG can really generate form for you, HTML code for you on the fly within a few seconds. Now look, you never had to write any of this by hand. So, and if you were using any tool like this, you would want to I'm using, for your reference, I'm using Adobe Dreamweaver CS6 for this example. If you want to do it using this software, you would want to click on the elements and then add it. But yeah, you can do that. But here is the thing. This does not generate, this only generates the HTML code for that text area that I just inserted for this in this example. So this is the only part that has been generated by the software. So FPMG excels in the fact that it has not only generated the HTML form, but in addition it has all generated the CSS code and the variables information. So here we go. We're going to copy this. Here you go. And here are the queries, the PHP queries. There we go. So look at it. All we did is just fill the information, and at a click of a button we have generated HTML form code. Here we go. We have generated CSS, we have generated syntaxes, PHP and MySQL code, and we have assigned parameters. So let's take a quick look at a couple of things that I want to address. And as you can see here from the example, for the send button we have about 9 fields here, but if you count, here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have about 8 fields here and we have 9. You might be wondering why that happened. Where did the last field go? Well, the last field, if you remember, we have selected the processing as no. So this is what the process stands for. As long as you select the processing as yes, the code for that field will be available in the final resultant output. But if you select the process as no, the element will be included in the HTML form, as you can see in the HTML form. Let me delete the text area here. As you can see, it will be included in the HTML form, but the code or the PHP code will not be generated for that. So this is how you can avoid generating code for the send button or any other field that you want to be available, that you want to make available in the HTML form, but not in the PHP code. And as you can see, here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. As you can see, we have 8 fields here, 8 fields here. So that's how the number of fields match. And one more thing, I wanted to address this DB column name issue. As you can see, here we have provided the first name. Okay, so this assumes that, and if you remember, we have provided the database name as the table name as contact us, so that's what we have. And the input name is first name. There you go. Subscribe, and take a note, it's the same thing, it matches over here. So, and then gender, state, message, gender, state, message. I'm gonna show you what this means, what has happened here. State, let me do it this way. State, message. Now, if you remember, I told you that I wanted to insert, I have a column in my table with the name comments, and I want the data from the message input element to be inserted into this column. That's the reason why the tool has generated this query in this way. So here we have it. We have a comments column, and the data from the message is being inserted into this column. As you can see, we have assigned message, the posted message, into a variable called message. uh, and here we have it. We have a column name here, as we have given comments. We have a column name called comments, but at the same time we are using a variable called message to insert the data into that column. So this is how, if you have a different column name, or if you wanted to use a different name for the input field, this is how you can do it. Specifying it under the DB column name, a different database column name will add this field's data to this column name specified here. Here we have not specified anything, and hence it's assumed that the database column name is same as the input name. Here, as you can see, first name is the column name, and the specified variable is the same one. Subscribe, gender. So this is how everything is same, unless and until you explicitly state that it's a different column name, in which case a different column name will be specified. And as you can see, I have selected about 4 of these insert, select, update, and delete statements are generated for us. Here, as you can see, insert, select, update, and delete. Now, all this FPMG has generated for us, and the only thing that you would want to change at this point of time is either specify the where clause in the select query. Go ahead and specify it here, and in the update here we have some generic text. It says where column equal to value. You might want to change this as per your liking or as per the situation. And here, delete from contact us, where column equal. So in this way, FPMG has generated all the code for us instantly without you having to write any of them. Just imagine how much time it will save you trying to use this tool and generate the forms and PHP and MySQL code for you. So that's how this tool is helpful. And now you want to, and I'm sure you would want to see how this would work, import DDL statements. Now this is immensely useful if you, I'm going to show you what this is going to do. For this reason, I have another page here. Alright, now I'm going to do something. Take a quick look. Here I have a table in my database, and I'm gonna take a quick look. Okay, I have few fields. Alright, now I'm going to export as text format. Alright, here we go. Just look at this. I'm just going to copy the table structure from here, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click on the show button. I'm going to right click, paste. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to copy and paste the table structure directly, and watch what happens when I click on the process DDL. Take a look. There's nothing over here, and there are no fields added in this form. This is a new page. So now watch this. There you go, voila. I didn't do anything. I just copied the DDL statements and I just processed it, and the whole all the field input names with the labels are generated automatically for you. So this is how, without even having to manually type each and every input element, I can automatically generate the code HTML. And if I wanted to generate the HTML code for this, I don't even have to worry anything about it. I'm just going to make sure that everything is okay. If I wanted to change something like a state, I'm going to just make a couple of changes. I'm going to say Texas, I'm going to Illinois, and if I wanted to give out a different database column name, I'm going to do it, or if I don't want to, I won't. And contact ID, if I don't want this, let's say I didn't want to include this information or to this information to be filled in at all, I'm just going to remove it. There you go. So fname is the input name, but let's say I want this to be meaningful to the user. So I'm going to say first name. Lname doesn't make much sense, so I'm going to say last name. There you go. Just a couple of changes, and here it is. All right. I want everything to be generated, so, and I'm going to say contact. All right. Form action results. All right. Okay. Generate. There you go. You have the form ready. I want to show you even how this works. And there it is. There you go. If you wanted to format this, that's it. So just take a look. I mean, how much time did it take me to generate this form? And it just took barely a few seconds. You can count it. You can put on a timer and just count the number of seconds it took me to just copy and paste my table structure directly from PHP MyAdmin into FPMG, and that generated not only the form, it also generated the CSS and the variables and the queries and the download option. So this is the brilliancy of this option here, import DDL statements. As long as you have a table structure, you can generate the HTML form, you can generate the PHP code and the MySQL code in seconds. You can count, you can turn on your timer, you can count the number of seconds in which you can generate a form. Just think about this. How many, let's say if you have 100 fields, how much time you're going to save? You can literally save lots of minutes, and which will eventually add up to a number of hours, and you can probably even save number of days with this. So it's a brilliant tool, guys. I tell you, it has never been developed before. It's not being offered for free by anybody else, but here is FPMG, and it's completely free to use. You can generate, there are no restrictions, no limits. It's offered for free, and I hope you guys will be able to take much use of this. And if you do like this tool, please feel free to share us on the social networking sites and like us. And if you have any questions or any comments, feel free to contact using the contact us link. And if you have any ideas or suggestions on how to make this tool better, feel free to send us your suggestions and we'll implement them whenever we get a chance. And I hope this tutorial was able to tell you more about this tool, but if in case you need any more help, feel free to contact us and let us know how we can help you. Thanks for watching.